Were you triggered by any change of palms, buds, and leaf? Then refer the case. Please keep in touch to the end. Listen and focus well on what we show. The answer to your palm might pop out. In case, please click on the link here on this video. And you may find out it's either a disease, pest, or else something not to worry at all about. If your case would be disease or a pest, catch the remedy here. However, it would be the best to proceed with consultancy by the coconut development officer in charge. Number 1. Deformation of the fronds of bud. Look, the bud survived while planting has disappeared now. Why? The new deformed bud is the case. This bud hasn't properly opened yet and not well grown. And also see the fronds around are not well grown. Though the new bud needs to stand directly upwards, there's a little lean. Even though this plant's 2 years old, can you see any progress related to the age? Why and why? Did you notice any bud here? A plant in the age of 2 years? Yes, there is, but you may find a brownish bud that has gone dead and dried. If you pull it out, the bud directly comes off broken away. Its underneath may appear with wet fiber just like a broom, you know. What's the cause for this breakaway? Follow the link. Number 3. Front appears with a scissor cut. This might be visible at any edge. It's like somebody has scissored at the very edge or the mild a few leaves together in one direct line. Also, this tree hasn't grown enough to the edge. If you keenly observe the whole land, you might diagnose a few more seedlings to be the same. Extremely high palms, stems, grown up or ungrown up, or any sort of tree is possibly vulnerable to this attack. Whose job is this cut? Click here. Number 4. Cracks on petiole. Mostly you may find this symptom on newly grown palms or on seedlings with well-grown stems. Nicely cared and well-fertilized plant turning into such a bad will discourage you. Righto, it's correct. The more you treat and fertilize, the more it grows well and stem expands. The more it expands, the petioles around tend to crack. After a few days, you may notice juicy substance flows off from these cracks. Also, the more you go inside of the petioles, you may see marks of an insect bite and leftovers, etc. followed by the video. What are you gonna do? Use the link. Number 5. Insect bites on petioles and crown. Another symptom. Have you seen such big holes on petioles and crown near the bud? The leftovers of bites have jumped off from those holes. Also, you might see rotting, discoloring, and even pupil cells like tiny fiber stalks inside the holes. Have a look. Have a look. These are the pupil cells. Some sort of reddish insects, also a sort of warm red-headed and rest in white. So definitely, this might be your crisis. Number 6. Falling bud. Did you check the plant before the bud falls? Then you may have seen the bud like almost deadly lean to a side, and yellow fronds around and stretch downwards like this. If you take your ears to the stem, you may experience a ton of an insect bite. Finally, it ends up with a bud fallen off. Seriously, who's this enemy? Click the link here. Number 7. Rotten bud. See whether your palm shows these symptoms. Disease begins with a wilting bud. The shine of bud too vanishes here. This spreads even to the fronds around. Finally, neighboring buds and leaves also turn into yellow. You may see that here. Not only yellow, even the bud dries and comes off. The very edge of this bud stings so bad as well. For further details, click on the link here. Number 8. Buds of tiny seedlings turn into yellow and die. This belongs to primary seedlings. Here, at first, we note the wilt bud. Then this bud dies gradually after being yellow. If the bud is pulled up, it easily comes off. If you remove the whole plant, you may observe the nut portion which was under soil has gone with termite attack. If you split off the nut and stem, you may find them full of soil inside. You think why it died? Number 9. Leaves look like dried and burnt in a distant view. At the primitive stage of this disease, greenish spots appear to be on first fronds. Then with time, these spots turn into brown with a dried and overburnt look. The underneath of leaves are with a substance caused by pupa like this. Caterpillars are inside those stalks. Maybe only a few of palms, or perhaps the entire cultivation may have been swallowed by the condition. Number 10. Brownish spots or strips over the leaf. Have you seen such damage ever? Maybe you would assume it's sunburnt. If you take curved or bent leaves and unfold them, there's an orange-headed black tummy species like a firefly. This is it. Also, some insects conceived out of cocoons and stuff survive inside those leaf ribs. Hence, the palm's growth can possibly discontinue. So this is the enemy you think? Click on the link. Number 11. Fronds with brownish oval stains surrounded by yellow. Look at first set of fronds. Are there such stains very close to each? Brown bordered by yellow? Dry climate or continuous wet condition of the land might enrich this condition. As seedlings and budding cultivations are most vulnerable to this, please open up the link here. Number 12. Unusual yellow leaf and curving effect like a spine. Does your palm belong to a southern area? Then you might be so familiar with the effect. Here the palm is in an abnormal yellow. Before that, the leaf's roofing shape deforms into a flat shape, then a spinal curve. In addition, you may experience dry ribs. Then fronds get to fall off and start up dying. This seems to require a solid attention. Click the link. Number 13. Losing green and yellow gaining by leaf. If you struggle with this, please see whether the effect was born from first circle of fronds and then little by little upwards to remaining fronds. Maybe a few or more trees have been attacked. First, all leaves get into yellow a quite little, then the down layer, the first and finally the top fronds as well. The entire leaf then gets uniformly yellow. When the condition gets aggressive, even the fronds of budding area get yellow and die. With time, stem shrinks and fronds untimely fall off and even the body nuts. What do we do? Number 14. Orange fronds in first layer and purple corrosive spots on leaf. Matured fronds show up this first. In the sense, first frond layer at first and then rest on top would be the next. Symptoms: orange fronds as shown. Purple spots like corrosion all over the leaf. And the leaf edge gives dried and overburnt view. Also, nuts getting smaller and less yielding are possible. What are remedies? Number 15. The stem of leaf surrounds in green and the rest in yellow. This also firstly appear on first round of fronds. See whether your palm's leaf stem is surrounded by green and the rest in yellow. No any difference in shape or size of leaf. It appears so stylish like man-made. How could it be? Number 16. An ordinary twist in bud's leaf. This diagnosis would be an easy task. At the early age, non-matured leaf is shorter than an average. Then as we see, the front edge of budding area takes zigzag or sickle shape without getting unfolded. Here, fruity palms give nuts with a crack on back as another symptom. If the symptoms further continue to survive, the fronds and growth will catch failure. Here's the link. Palm is a tree of supremacy in provision of all flowers, nuts, fronds, etc. throughout her entire lifespan. You may surely be astounded if you hear that she yields nuts for the entire family need of an year. She signs off with a hearty goodbye to the earth after serving generations and generations with all her love to the livelihood. Therefore, let's spare the golden time with motherly care to protect such an amazing gift without a single scratch. Let's earn the credit of excellency being a nationwide super coconut provider.